Hey guys, this is Mark from TradePro Academy, and in this weekend's video, we're going to take a look at the futures trading hours. So grab a cup of coffee, a pen, and a notepad, and let's get at it. All right, Trade Pros, so what you see in this board behind me is a quick little grid that I put together with regards to the trading hours of some of the more popular futures assets. So the most popular futures assets are the equity indices. These are your S&P 500, your NASDAQ, your Russell, and your Dow futures. Your energy market, which is primarily your crude oil, and your metals markets, which is basically looking at your gold. All right, so these are the assets that we're gonna cover in this video. And what you see in this middle tier here is the Globex hours. So Globex, with futures, it's almost a 24-hour market. The futures do open up on Sunday evening and they close up on Friday evening. So to show you guys how this works, it's basically these futures have the running hours, but they also have a halt, which you need to be aware of if you are going to be trading futures. All right, so equity indices, these guys open up at 6 p.m. on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. All the times on this grid are in Eastern time. So 6 p.m. Eastern, your equity indice futures open up and they close at 4:15 p.m. Eastern the next day. All right, you got a halt. So with the equity indice futures, you get a halt between 4:15 to 4:30. So a quick 15-minute halt. The futures then open up again for another 30-minute period between 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then they close again for another hour between 5 and 6 p.m. At which point they reopen again for the day until 4:15 p.m. Eastern. All right, so that's how the equity futures work. 6 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. Eastern, then from 4:15 to 4:30, quick 15-minute break, reopen for trading for another half hour, 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then we get a halt from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., at which point they reopen again for the Globex session. Crude oil in the energy sector here, quite similar as far as when it opens. The only thing different between these equity indice futures and the energy and metal futures is that halt at the end of the day. So energy, you will see 6 p.m. Eastern, we get the open on Sunday afternoon, or rather Sunday evening, and they close up again at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So this time it closes from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, reopens again at 6 p.m. Eastern until the next day at 5 p.m. Eastern. All right, so that's how the energy markets trade. Now, metals as well, 6 p.m. Eastern time, they open, 5 p.m. Eastern the following day. They close for an hour, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. reopen again for trading until the next evening at 5 p.m. Eastern. Now, this is all fine and dandy. Knowing what times that these markets are open is great, but that's not going to put you on the successful side of trading. With trading, have you ever been in a situation where you've been waiting for a setup, you find the setup, you execute on the setup, and the market goes nowhere? All right? If you've ever been in that kind of a situation, you're likely trading in a time span or a time within the market hours that's not very volatile, that doesn't have a lot of interest, and as a result, you can get great setups at bad times, and that could lead to trades that you're either too impatient with or you're not patient enough with. So to avoid that, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you guys the best times to trade each one of these three markets, and let's take a look at that. All right, trade pros, so here we are back on the board. I've gone ahead and I've erased all of the other information here, and let's go ahead and get started with this. So equity indice futures, when is the most volatile part of this session? When is the most amount of activity, the most amount of volatility happening? And when is the greatest opportunity to trade these markets? So with equity indices, this happens to be during the US cash open to the European cash close overlap. And that overlap generally happens from 9:30 a.m. Eastern. All right, 9:30 a.m. Eastern is when the US cash session opens. US traders are going to be in front of their screens. They're going to be looking to take their positions. All right, at the same time, between 9:30 a.m. till 11:30 a.m., Eastern time, this is the best times to trade the equity indices futures. The reason being is that you've got the two most liquid sessions, your European session and your US session, you've got them overlapping. So as New York traders are coming in looking to start opening their books, opening their positions, starting the day, you've also got European traders that are coming towards the end of their session and they're looking to close out positions. So that mix between US traders looking to start opening up positions and European traders looking to start closing out their positions into 11:30, that often leads to a surge of volume, that often leads to some volatility, and that leads to great opportunity. So when you hear us say you can make a full-time income within 2 hours, this is a session that you should be trading if you have that time availability. 9:30 a.m. till 11:30 a.m. Eastern. With crude oil is still one of the futures markets that still has a pit. They have an open outcry pit session, and that is really the best time to trade crude oil. That opens, the pit session in the States opens at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and that runs until 2:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, so from 9 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. Eastern time is when you're gonna have the most opportunity. All right, if we were to condense this to 1 or 2 hours on the session, I would say probably from 9 till 10 a.m. is a good opportunity. And then again, from around 1:30 into the pit close at 2:30 would be another good option as well. All right, so if you do have the availability to trade this entire period, that's great. However, if you've only got 2 hours throughout the session, 9 to 10 a.m. is usually quite volatile. And then the pit close, the last hour from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. is also a great opportunity. One of the beautiful things with crude oil is that we have a reliable report on a weekly basis. It's the EIA inventory report that comes out Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. If you don't have a full week that you can put in front of the screen, if you have only say an hour to 2 hours a week to trade, you'd want to be coming in on Wednesdays. All right, Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That is when you get great opportunities on the back of the EIA report. Crude oil is a supply and demand market, and that report essentially shows us the current supply and demand situation from the previous week. So great volatility on that one. This is the best times to trade crude oil. All right, now as far as the metals are concerned, gold is the most popular metal future. And as a result, gold also has an open outcry. They do have a pit session, which is also a great opportunity to trade in. All right, so the gold pit session starts at 8:20 a.m. Eastern, and that runs into 1:30 Eastern time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So although this market is open from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern on a daily basis, the time when you have the most amount of volatility, the most amount of opportunity happens during the pit session. All right, your pit session again between 8:20 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All right, so there you go, 1:30 p.m. So this is a quick summary of the futures trading hours in general, what time they're open in, what time they go for a halt each evening. And then we've gone a step further and we've shown you guys exactly the times that have the most amount of opportunity, the times that have the most amount of volatility and volume, and this is it. All right, so if you guys are going to be looking to day trade these assets, these are the times that you want to be in front of the screen. These are the times, like I said, that you will have the greatest amounts of opportunity. So that's going to be a wrap on today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you guys will find success moving from the times that are not as active into these most active times. And you'll see if you get your setups forming during these hours, they're a lot likelier to work out in your favor as opposed to the setups that form during less active and less voluminous periods. All right, so that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button, please comment, please subscribe, and please share our channel with your friends or colleagues, really anybody that's looking to get into this industry, into this arena. One of the best referrals that you guys can give, one of the best ways that you guys can give thanks to us for making these videos is a referral. So again, that's me for this weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck and good trading. Take care, guys.